My wife said plenty of men want me after wasting our earn and acting single in house. So I cut off her funds, ghosted her ego, and let divorce finish it. So I, a 33 male, got into this fight with my wife Cindy, a 30 female, that turned everything upside down. But it was not just about the fight. She had been getting a whole character upgrade, run by her bestie. She wanted to play boss girl, but it went really bad for her. But let me start with some quick background first. Before things went sideways, we were doing great. We met in college, dated for 3 years, and got married. The early years were fun, traveling, morning pancakes, dumb little traditions like watching movies with our phones off. We were that couple. She was a chill type, and that is what made things easy. She dressed simple but clean, did not care about name brands, and actually bragged about getting deals from TJ Maxx. She once roasted a friend who tried to get her into a multi-level marketing scheme. Another time, we were at brunch with a couple friends, and this girl pulled up her birth chart mid-conversation to explain why she was toxic in relationships. Cindy looked at me, then back at her and said, "Girl, you ghosted him because you are annoying, not because Mercury backflipped." How ironic typing this after everything went down. She worked a steady job, contributed to our finances, and we had tag team life. If I was slammed at work, she would pick up the slack without making a big deal of it. If she had a rough day, I would handle dinner. No scoreboard, no passive-aggressive sighs, just a partnership that worked. We had each other's back, you know. Then Leah happened. She was one of Cindy's old college friends. We had met her once or twice years ago, back when she was still married and posting about date nights with her king. Then that went sideways and she rebranded overnight. She moved to our city after the divorce like she was launching her second season. New city, new vibe, same delusion. She brought that full boss babe energy with her. Except not the kind that builds businesses, more like the kind that sits in coffee shops writing in a manifestation journal while complaining about how men are intimidated by her aura. At first, I was cool with it. Cindy had been missing close female friends, and I figured having someone around would do her some good. Girl time, venting, all that. I should have clocked it sooner. It started small but noticeable. First night they went out, Cindy came home late with that weird, fake deep look on her face like she just got baptized at a brunch cult. I asked how it went. She goes, "Honestly, I forgot what it felt like to be seen as powerful instead of useful. It was mindful." The hell does that even mean? The next couple of weeks, she started using phrases that felt like Leah's voice coming out of her mouth. Things like, "You need to honor your feminine energy," or, "I am no longer available for low vibration tasks." The same woman who used to joke that I was the one with better poop bag aim was now acting like walking the dog was emotional abuse. That was the first time I saw it. The version of her I knew was slowly getting overwritten, like Leah was running a system update in the background. Now the thing about Leah, she was one of those soft life disciples who acted like making avocado toast at 11 a.m. counted as personal development. Her Instagram was a mix of gym selfies where she never actually lifted weights, pictures of her feet at brunch, and those weird infographics with titles like 10 signs you are operating in your divine feminine and he is not worthy. Her captions were always a combo of vague bitterness and fake positivity, like healing is not linear, but neither is my body count, plus nails emoji and sparkle they usually use before as lay queen. Within weeks of hanging out with her, Cindy started shifting. Not huge at first, just little stuff. Suddenly, she needed me days every Sunday. Even though we used to cook pancakes together like clockwork, she started using words like energy drain and low vibe habits when she did not feel like doing anything around the house. And it was not just Leah anymore. She pulled Cindy into this little crew of women, mostly semi-employed and permanently online. I do not know if it was a friend group or a cult, but they treated Sunday brunch like a TED Talk and posted group selfies with captions like "Queens support queens." They had theme nights like Unbothered Fridays and No Men Monday, where they would sit around quoting each other and diagnosing their exes with narcissism over overpriced smoothies. I once walked in on a Zoom call where one girl was crying about her breakup while the others nodded like they were on a panel. One of them actually said, "You are not broken, you are blooming." I left the room before I laughed out loud. Leah was clearly in her ear 24/7, and it was like watching someone get pulled into a pyramid scheme for personality traits. The funny part, Leah never once held down a job longer than 6 months. She would go from part-time yoga instructor to failed Etsy crystal shop to branding coach in a single quarter, all while posting about being a high-value woman. She would date broke dudes with jaw lines and then complain about financial misalignment. Meanwhile, she was feeding Cindy all these ideas about how women should not settle and how a real man would treat her like a queen without needing to be asked. And soon my wife stopped sounding like herself altogether. It did not stop with just me days and new vocabulary. Then came the makeover. Leah's idea, obviously. It will enhance your natural beauty, she told Cindy over lunch, like she was pitching a rebrand. Translation, let me turn you into a carbon copy of myself with a slightly different nose. She went from blonde to pink. She got her nails done. She used to hate on these claws. And she started doing her makeup in a way that honestly looked terrible. Next thing I know, Cindy was dropping $300 on clean girl skincare, stuff that looked more like props in a witchcraft starter kit than actual skincare. I joked once that her side of the bathroom looked like a Sephora threw up. She did not laugh. She traded her sweats and graphic t-shirts for beige bodysuits and oversized blazers, Leah's exact wardrobe. She started posing in front of our living room mirror for Instagram stories with captions like "healed not hardened," while pouting like someone asked her to model for a passive-aggressive greeting card. And social media. That became her full-time job, constantly scrolling, saving reels, reposting quotes from accounts with names like @GoddessVibes Daily or @Divine Alignment Club. Our place started feeling like an open set for her little aesthetics. One night, I walked into the kitchen, and she was recording herself, sipping tea in slow motion with a sad lo-fi song playing. She stopped, looked at me, and said, "Can you not open the fridge while I am capturing this?" Like I was interrupting art, and the captions. Brother. One reel had footage of her writing in a notebook while staring dramatically out the window with the caption, "Healing is not pretty. Sometimes it is oat milk." Meanwhile, I could not even get a text back about what she wanted for dinner. She said she was off-grid for mental wellness, but she posted 3 selfies while ignoring me. Our house used to smell like pancakes and detergent. Now it smelled like eucalyptus, oil, burnt sage, and 3-day-old takeout container she forgot to toss. I would ask her a simple question like, "Hey, do you want anything from the store?" And she would barely register it. Our little routines were dead. Sunday pancakes were replaced by gut-friendly fasting or detox brunch, with Leah and her rotating squad of singles. The empowerment cult. Dinners together became rare. I would come home from work to a fridge with nothing but oat milk and a sticky note that said, "Out with the girls. Do not wait up." At first, I tried to roll with it, thought maybe she just needed space, or it was a phase. But every time we talked, it was like I was on trial. Anything I said was met with criticism or worse, some recycled, Leah-scripted one-liner. Like the night I asked if she wanted to watch a movie, just unwind like old times. And she goes, "Honestly, a real partner would plan an experience, not just expect me to settle for background noise and a couch." I remember staring at her, wondering when I became a substandard event planner instead of a husband trying to connect. And then came her new catchphrase, "I am just finally knowing my worth." She said it like a mic drop, like it was supposed to end every conversation. We could be talking about dishes or vacation plans, and somehow it would always loop back to that. I asked if she could grab groceries one day, normal errand stuff, and she snapped back with, "Men just expect women to do everything while contributing the bare minimum. I know my worth now." Excuse me, ma'am? Bare minimum? I was literally bankrolling her freaking aesthetic lifestyle. But nope. I was not talking to my wife anymore. I was talking to Leah 2.0. She once dropped $900 on a freaking designer bag from our joint account. The kind of bag that looks like a cross between a leather lunchbox. I asked her about it calmly, by the way, and she shrugged like I just asked about the weather. Leah told me every woman deserves luxury. I told her Leah could sponsor her next splurge. Then she did not laugh, just rolled her eyes and walked off like I was some broke hater for questioning our draining savings. And the bag was not even the beginning. A few weeks before, I caught a $140 charge for an energy recalibration session with some wellness influencer who lives in a van and says she can align your chakras via Zoom. Another time, it was $200 for a leather-bound manifestation journal system that looked like a glorified planner with gold stickers. When I asked, she called it goal setting through divine clarity. Yeah, except it was burning money with glitter. She signed up for a divine feminine embodiment course taught by a 24-year-old who once sold leggings for a living. The workbook included journal prompts like, "What would your highest self eat for breakfast?" I said, hopefully something cheaper than $26 granola. Even her lunch habits changed. She started ordering these pre-made gut-conscious meals, $18 quinoa bowls in biodegradable packaging, while acting like I was poisoning myself for eating leftovers. So yeah, everything was off. At some point it felt like she was just tolerating me between girl gang outings and empowerment podcasts. I felt like a background character in my own house. And then it all snapped over trash. I forgot to take it out before the truck came. That was it. Not some major betrayal, just trash. I'd been slammed with back-to-back deadlines at work. I slept 4 hours the night before. I got home, dropped my keys, walked through the door, and there she was, sitting on the couch, looking at me like I just murdered her dog. "You forgot the trash again." "No, hey, no rough day, just that. I had a deadline," I said, keeping my voice steady. "You could have taken it out too." She tilted her head like I just told her the earth was flat. "Why is it always me picking up the slack around here?" I honestly was not having it. "I already had a long bad day. You did not pick up anything. You just waited until I did not so you could start a fight. That was enough to open the floodgates." She launched into a full monologue. How I never help, how she is done doing stuff herself, how I am emotionally unavailable, lazy, selfish, and so on. It was like she had memorized a list and had just been waiting for a trigger, and I just stood there exhausted. Not just from work, but from this, the constant performance, the daily criticism, the feeling that nothing I did was ever enough. She kept going, hands waving, pacing now, voice rising. I stopped listening about halfway through and started thinking about whether we still had any cold chicken in the fridge. Then she said it. "Plenty of men would want me. Men who actually listen." I froze. I looked at her for a long second, no reaction, no anger, just realization. The woman standing in front of me, ranting, posing, throwing out lines like she was filming a breakup tutorial on YouTube, was not the woman I married. So I nodded once, did not scream, did not curse, did not slam anything, just walked past her into my home office and closed the door. Argument over, quietly, permanently at this point. For the next few days, the house felt like a failed improv scene. She would hover in rooms, waiting for me to say something. I did not. She would walk past in tight gym clothes, stretch, then pretend she was not watching to see if I looked. I did not. At one point, she sat next to me on the couch and out of nowhere said, "I have been reflecting a lot." I just said, "Cool," and kept scrolling. You would think I drop-kicked her aura. She tried leaving wellness books out where I would see them. One about the emotionally available man sat on the coffee table for 2 days. I used it as a coaster. No yelling, no fights, just silence. And it drove her crazy. I was done arguing with someone who was more interested in playing a role than being a partner. I was going to let her feel what knowing her worth really looks like when no one is bankrolling the performance. First move, separate finances. I opened a new personal account, had my paycheck rerouted, and left just enough in our joint account to cover my half of the mortgage and bills. Not a penny more, no warning, no speech, no drama, just numbers doing what words could not. I canceled our shared credit card too. If she wanted to treat herself, she could run that luxury lifestyle on her own dime, or Leah's. Good luck. That part did not go unnoticed. About a week later, she asked why her Sephora cart got declined. I told her I was optimizing our finances. She stared at me like I just admitted to stealing her birthright. I offered to help her make a budget spreadsheet. She stormed off. Felt like a win. Next, I stopped being the in-house handyman. Before all this, I was fixing everything. Leaky faucets, jammed doors, burnt-out bulbs, you name it. But now, if it did not affect my space, it was not my problem. Her closet light went out one night while she was trying to film one of her evening reset stories. She tripped over a yoga mat and knocked over one of her crystal trays. I watched from the hallway sipping coffee like I was at a live comedy show. She asked if I could replace the bulb. I said, "Sure, just let me log it in the task manager." There is no task manager. The thermostat. I reprogrammed it to my comfort zone. She complained the house was too cold to film barefoot. I said she could manifest warmth. Even the fridge became a silent battleground. I stopped buying her niche groceries. No oat milk, no almond flour, no sea moss gel. The only thing I stocked was Greek yogurt, rice, chicken, and protein bars. She left a sticky note once that said, "Where is the organic honey?" I replied with, "Where's the shared grocery list?" Laundry. Same deal. I washed my own stuff, folded it neatly. Her mountain of clothes sat untouched on the guest room chair for days. Eventually, she asked if I could just toss hers in with mine like I used to. I told her I was respecting her independence. She did not like that at all. I turned into a ghost. I did not yell. I did not sulk. I just stopped showing up. No more check-ins. No more "how was your day?" No more tiptoeing to keep the peace. I would wake up early, make my coffee, just 1 cup now, and head to work before she even got out of bed. I came home late too, not out of spite, just had things to do. Emails to catch up on, projects to lead, dinner. I meal prepped chicken, rice, broccoli, and ate in the garage sometimes while watching YouTube videos. Meanwhile, she would post stories of her solo date nights with candles and drinks, and some captions like "romanticizing my life." I was 15 feet away in the next room watching a guy rank every home gym setup under $500. The best part, she could not decide whether to be mad, confused, or insulted. She would drop passive-aggressive comments like, "Must be nice having no emotional bandwidth," or "This vibe is giving a roommate." I would just nod and say, "Yeah, it kind of is, dead serious." Then go back to scrolling through fitness content. She even tried to bait me into arguments once or twice. She left a pile of dishes for me by accident. She said something snide about how some men lose interest when women level up. I did not bite. I just washed my fork, wiped my spot on the table, and left hers like it was an archaeological site. I treated her like an Airbnb guest who overstayed the checkout time. The funny thing, once I stopped reacting, she did not know how to function. The entire playbook she got from Leah only worked if I played the role she assigned me, lazy, insecure husband clinging to the old version of her. But I was not clinging. I was thriving. 3 weeks into ghost mode, my boss pulled me aside after a presentation and asked what changed. He said my focus was sharp, my delivery was next level, and they were putting me on a new project. More visibility, better pay. That same day, I hit a new personal best on deadlifts. Funny what you can accomplish when no one is draining your battery over garbage night. I was not mad anymore. I was too busy getting better. And that was the first time I realized I was not the one who needed fixing. I started eating clean, lifting heavy, and sleeping better than I had in years. I cut out all the junk, food, people, drama. My evenings went from pointless arguments to progress tracking. I started hitting the gym after work daily, not because I was trying to impress anyone, but because I needed the discipline, the focus, the quiet. There is something therapeutic about putting plates on a barbell and letting gravity remind you who is really pulling weight. I was rusty at first. I could not bench what I used to. Cardio sucked. My form was trash. But every rep was fuel. Every sweat-soaked hoodie was a reminder that I was choosing to invest in me now. A month in, I was down fat, up muscle, and my jawline came back from the dead like it was in witness protection. Clothes fit better. My energy was back. I started waking up before my alarm again. I stopped checking if Cindy was home late or stalking Leah's stories. I did not care. They could have been dancing on a yacht in stilettos or sobbing into green juice. I was not watching. I was too busy crushing my lifts and meal prepping like a machine. Work noticed too. That promotion I had been chasing, I got it. My project numbers were tight, presentation clean, team morale up. When my boss asked how I turned things around, I just said, "Cut distractions." He laughed. I did not. I also reconnected with my boys, guys I had not properly hung out with since the early marriage days. I started hosting low-effort poker nights and game nights again. Not ravers, just chill evenings with real food, trash talk, and the kind of jokes you cannot make around people who quote astrology in arguments. I forgot how good it felt to just be around guys who did not need you to journal about your feelings first. One night, my buddy Jake brought his younger sister Ella to our cookout. She was visiting from out of state, in town to help him move. Personal trainer, sharp sense of humor, she did not talk like a Hallmark card. She showed up in gym shorts, cracked a joke about the food macros before grabbing a burger, and started giving form advice to one of the guys deadlifting wrong in the garage. We hit it off instantly. Not in some flirty sparks flying way, just easy conversation. She asked about my work, actually listened, and roasted my Spotify playlist when she caught me playing early 2010s music. She said I was lifting like a beast, but training like it is 2013. And yeah, I will admit it. She noticed the gains. At one point, someone joked about who could overhead press more, and Ella turned to me and said, "Let us see what you have got, gym guy." I gave her a mock flex and she whistled, "Damn, whatever you are doing is working." Right then, Cindy walked in. You ever see someone's face drop like they just got hit with a bad flashback? That was her. She looked at me, looked at Ella, then looked at the grill like she was trying to process an alternate timeline. She did not say anything, she just walked past us like we were strangers. I said something like that. That night after everyone left, Cindy lost it. I came inside to her pacing. "You are parading women through our house now, seriously?" I looked her dead in the eye, then calmly said, "Thought you had plenty of men lined up. Why are you so worried about me and who I hang out with?" She gasped, a full-on dramatic gasp like I just slapped her with a restraining order. Then the next day, I heard her venting to Leah on a phone call. "He is totally checked out. It is like he does not care anymore. Leah did not even hesitate. He is manipulating you. That is what men do when they feel powerless. Do not let him get in your head. Remember your worth." At that point, I would rather have a conversation with my printer. 2 weeks later, she dropped her final card. She thought it would shake me. I want a divorce. I did not hesitate. Cool. I will call my lawyer tomorrow. She stared at me, waiting for something, shock, rage, maybe even begging, but all she got was peace. That is what cracked her. She tried to walk it back. I did not mean we had to rush into anything. I just think we need space. I shrugged again. No, you were right the first time. Divorce works. She went quiet like she could not compute the fact that I was not fighting her on it. You could tell she expected drama, me begging, arguing, trying to salvage things. But when she realized I was serious, she hit the brakes hard. She started pacing, then pulled out her old tricks. You are throwing everything away. We are just going through a phase. Maybe we just need space, not paperwork. I stayed calm. I was not trying to win. I was just done playing. That is when she flipped into negotiation mode, started listing what she thought she would get: our house, half my retirement, alimony, maybe some relocation money. She said it like she was reading off an Amazon wish list. I told her she would need a great lawyer. Good news, I already had one. Surprise, surprise. I had been prepping quietly for weeks. Screenshots, bank statements, even her Instagram captions where she bragged about funding her glow-up with zero help. We documented everything: her job abandonment, her sudden luxury spending, and the savings she drained. In the end, she walked away with her clothes, a cracked MacBook, a box of half-melted candles, and a payout that would not cover 3 months of her self-care essentials. She tried to spin it like she was choosing freedom. I would rather start from scratch than stay in a loveless home. Cool. Hope the scratch includes rent and utilities because there is no brunch fund left. She moved into this cramped one-bedroom near downtown, far from any of the spots she used to flex on her feed. And the real punchline, Leah ghosted her as soon as she bagged some finance bro with a yacht membership and a credit score. Her Instagram went from divine feminine frequency to wifey era in 3 weeks flat. Now I have got the house, the raise, a garage gym I actually use. Ella and I hang out. Nothing forced, just low-key chill and real. 2 people who know how to laugh and lift and keep life simple. Cindy is probably still out there knowing her worth. Hope she finds it, just not on my dime. Update. I was not planning to post an update, but last week I got a text from my buddy Matt that changed the game. It was a screenshot of Leah's engagement post. The caption said something like, "With my king," and Matt, being Matt, just wrote, "Laughing my ass off, your ex's guru just folded." I actually laughed, like, hard, because the timing could not have been better. That one screenshot explained everything I'd been hearing trickle down through mutual friends and Matt's girlfriend, who, by the way, used to brunch with Leah's little empowerment circle before they all turned on each other like a mid-season reality show cast. I have not spoken to Cindy since the divorce was finalized. No texts, no closure coffee, no checking in, but I did not need to. Her life has been playing out secondhand through other people's group chats and social media. And man, it has been a slow, beautiful implosion. So yeah, Leah. The same Leah who told Cindy to reclaim her power, stop shrinking, and never settle for less than queen energy. She got engaged to a 47-year-old real estate developer named Grant. Big money, big forehead, looks like he wears linen pants unironically, and thinks charcuterie is a personality. He proposed 5 months in, probably after Leah mentioned divine alignment during brunch one too many times. She has been rebranded again. The woman power energy is gone. Her page now looks like a Pottery Barn catalog with love quotes. You would think she was auditioning to be a stay-at-home life coach with a sugar daddy sponsorship. Her captions went from, "If he is not lifting your vibration, he is blocking your blessings," to, "I kid you not. My forever home is him. You really cannot make this up." The best part, Cindy did not even know about the engagement until the post went up. No warning, no invite, just an Instagram bomb at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. She commented, "Wow, congrats, I guess." The comment got deleted. She got blocked. A mutual friend said Cindy called Leah a fake and a sellout. Cindy cried for 2 days. She said she felt betrayed by the sisterhood, as if brunch solidarity was legally binding. Then came the fallout. Leah bailed on their little friend group, obviously too busy traveling with Grant and documenting every moment like she is starring in a soft-focus Pinterest wedding board. The rest of the girl squad imploded like a bad startup. One of them hooked up with someone else's ex. Another got canceled in the group for being toxic. Classic empowerment group stuff. All support until one of them starts winning harder than the others. Cindy tried patching it up. She sent out this long, "We need to come together as women" voice note to the group chat. It did not land. She got left on read. One girl left the group entirely. Another clapped back with, "Did not you ghost us for Leah the second she got that condo invite? Ouch." Now she is solo. No crew. No Leah, no soft life photo ops, just her apartment, and whatever is left of her rebirth season decor from Home Goods. Meanwhile, I have been chilling, still hitting the gym, still doing well at work. Ella and I still hang out, grab food, lift together, shoot the breeze, no drama, no expectations, just someone real who does not talk to me like a motivational podcast. I have not said a word about any of it to Cindy. No messages, no reactions. I did not need to. She made her choices, she got delivered. Sometimes silence is the best revenge. Final update. Hey, it is me again with another update. Final one. I figured that was the end of it. Divorce finalized, no contact, both of us supposedly moving on, but apparently Cindy was not. It started with a random email. The subject line just said, "Hey, can we talk?" There was no actual message in the body. I did not open it. I did not respond. It did not even make me mad. I just stared at it for a second, then deleted it and went back to work. I knew exactly what that was. She had not heard from me in months. And now that her little group had collapsed, she was testing the waters. 3 days later, she showed up. I was outside trimming the hedges. Yeah, I do yard work now. Not because I love landscaping, but because it is peaceful. It is honestly one of the best parts of my day. Just me, a hedge trimmer, and a good playlist. Anyway, I saw her coming down the driveway, walking slowly like she hesitated. She gave a little wave and said, "Hey, I was in the area and thought maybe we could talk." I kept it short. "Ella is inside, we are getting dinner ready." The name drop landed like a punch she did not see coming. Her expression shifted instantly. She froze mid-step. Then she went, "Huh? You and Ella? If there is something you want to say, go ahead. We are heading out soon." She did not take the hint. Instead, she launched into this whole awkward ramble about how things got misunderstood, and how Leah manipulated a lot of people, and how maybe we should not have rushed into a divorce. She said she missed having someone who really knew her, someone she could talk to without pretending, real emotional boomerang stuff. You could tell she spent time crafting it, probably in front of a mirror while burning sage. I let her finish. Then I told her, "I appreciate you stopping by, but there is nothing left to talk about." That is when she snapped. The fake calm shattered in 2 seconds. Her voice jumped like 3 octaves, and she went straight into meltdown mode. She started pacing on my front lawn like she was filming a breakup monologue. "So that is it. You just replaced me? You did not even try to fix this, and now you are parading some gym rat around like she is your soulmate?" I stayed quiet mostly because I did not feel like explaining that Ella and I are not even officially dating. We just hang out, work out, and cook real meals that do not require sage or Himalayan salt blessings. But Cindy was not looking for answers. She was looking for something to scream at. She pointed at the house and said, "Is she in our kitchen right now using the dishes I picked out?" I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because she said like she had not stormed out 6 months ago with a ring light and a tote bag full of crystals, yelling about knowing her worth. She kept going. "I bet she does not even understand you. I gave you years of my life, and you think some protein shake chick is going to replace that?" At that point, my neighbor across the street came out to check their mail. We made eye contact. I gave him a nod like, "Yes, this is happening." And he just gave me the universal married guy look of sympathy and went back inside. Cindy finally stopped talking long enough to catch her breath. "Are you done?" I simply asked, which seemed to fuel her fire even more. She shook her head and muttered, "You are unbelievable," before storming off down the driveway. When I walked inside, Ella was in the kitchen tossing salad in a big bowl. She looked up and raised an eyebrow. That sounded intense. I nodded. She brought main character energy to my front lawn. "Ella, plate. Hope she enjoyed the free rant." We sat down and ate. Nothing fancy, just grilled chicken, roasted potatoes, and actual peace and quiet. Since the divorce, things have been good. I lead a product team now. I closed 2 big accounts. I finished remodeling the garage into a gym and workshop. I paid off the truck. I built a life that is quiet, efficient, and mine. I am not rich. I am not famous. I am just stable. And that is enough. Cindy wanted to talk. What she really wanted was to see if she could still get in my head. Maybe open a door. Maybe reset the board. But she does not have the key anymore. Now it is just me, Ella, and a meal that did not come with drama on the side. She came looking for closure. What she got was reality and a side of roasted potatoes.